perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Hello! Right, so, firstly, if you're wondering why I'm stood up, it's because it is about to get real, son. Yeah, it's just because I'm about to talk about an exciting subject, so I like to have a bit of, like, room to sort of move around and do my thing while I'm talking about this. Yeah, anyway, right, so for those of you who don't know already, I am a massive nerd when it comes towards Marvel. DC as well, but mainly Marvel. Like, so much so that sometimes in my spare time I like to just sit and watch, like, the newest facts about the new film coming up, or new theories about the film coming up, or even just researching about certain characters and just Marvel and DC in general. Yeah, so I'm just a very big nerd when it comes to Marvel and DC. I mean, just to make it clear, I don't do that all the time in my spare time, because that's just a bit sad, just most of the time. But yeah, anyway, as you probably know, Infinity War has been and gone. And let me just say before I carry on, God, that's a good film. Yeah, anyway. And obviously from what happens in Infinity War comes a lot of theories as to what's going to happen in the next film, Avengers 4, which is going to come out next year, which I'm really excited for, by the way. So yeah, so today I thought it would be a fun idea to go through some of the theories about Infinity War and Avengers 4 and share what my thoughts are about these series. So yeah, I've got a little list on my phone. Some of them I might have to do a little bit of research in between the video because I can't remember them. But yeah, anyway, let's just get to it. But just before we get into the video, I just want to say that are spoilers ahead, obviously, for Infinity War and possibly other MCU movies. So if you haven't seen Infinity War or a lot of the MCU movies, this really isn't a place for you to be. Sorry. Right. So the first theory is Loki is actually alive, but this whole time he's been posing as the Hulk. Yeah. I'm sorry, but personally, I think this theory is a load of crap. I mean, yeah, sure, Loki's done that before. He's pretended to be someone else before. He pretended to be Odin for a little bit and actually got away with it until Thor Ragnarok. Until Thor comes along and he's like, I know your secrets, and if you don't admit them now, my hammer is going to come straight through your face into my hand and nothing's going to stop it. See you on the other side, brother. Yeah, sorry, I got a bit carried away then. So yeah, Loki has done that before, but the thing is, I don't know whether it's just the fact that I haven't found any, like, reason throughout any of my research, but to me it just looks like that no one has actually come up with a reason as to why Loki would do this and what his plan is. I mean, what is your plan here, mate? Why would Loki pretend to be the Hulk just randomly? Like, to me it just doesn't make sense. And the fact that some people actually think that their reason as to why they think that Loki is posing as Thor, for God's sake, Loki is posing as the Hulk, is because firstly, at the start of Infinity War, Hulk got his ass whooped. But then my side of this is, yeah, Hulk's pretty powerful. He can punch a tank and it will probably go off to China. Well, actually, I don't think he's that powerful, but yeah, still. But then, when he was up against Thanos already had, I think it was just one Infinity Stone at the time, but still, that one Infinity Stone just happened to be, I'm pretty sure it was the Power Stone, and obviously, Power Stone means it's very powerful. When he puts it in the gauntlet, it makes Thanos very, very powerful. Like, you saw how powerful it was in Guardians of the Galaxy when someone touched it and it, like, blew up. That's how powerful it is. And now Thanos contains that power. So I think that's why Hulk sort of didn't stand a chance to Thanos, even though Hulk is very powerful. So yeah, that's my side. It's just that, to me, it just sounds stupid to just think, oh, the only reason Hulk lost to Thanos at the start of the film is because it's actually Loki in disguise, and Loki doesn't know how to control the Hulk. Yeah, it just sounds a bit stupid, really, doesn't it? But then there's another reason why people think that Loki is posing as the Hulk, is that they think that Bruce Banner is actually acting a lot different in Infinity War. But then he's acting the same as he was in Thor Ragnarok. I mean, have you not seen Thor Ragnarok, mate? Shouldn't you have just, like, gone back to that film before you watched Infinity War, so you sort of know the side of Thor and Hulk's story? Because yeah, Bruce Banner did act a lot different in the previous Avengers films, but then he changed in Thor Ragnarok, and I think that's just because Marvel is changing the character to make him a bit more dorky and, you know, comedic, so he's a bit more relatable and intriguing for the audience. You know, just like they did with Thor. Beforehand, it was Thor, some boring guy who claims he's the god of thunder from a different world, and he talks like he's in a Shakespeare play, and whenever the girls see him, they're all like, ah, Thor! But now it's Thor, a freaking badass who can wipe out half of an army just with one slam of his axe, sorry. And now even the guys are like, ah, Thor! Thor, look at his new hammer! Oh my god, his biceps! Yeah, so I think that's the only reason why he acts different in Avengers Infinity War. Not because Loki's taking control of him and he's like, how do I be Bruce Banner? Oh, I know, I'll act a bit dorky and funny and I'll trip over when I'm in the Hulkbuster suit. I mean, yeah, Loki did do a crap job of pretending to be Odin at the start of Thor Ragnarok. Because when Thor came to visit him, he was just like, ah, my son Thor has returned. Yes, I haven't been able to sort all these things out because I've been busy, you see. No, not by watching plays, I've just been busy with paperwork and meetings and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, but still, it's just, to me, this theory just seems very stupid. And there's another reason why people think this is because of the whole struggling to get Hulk out of Bruce Banner thing. You know how Hulk is refusing to come out of Bruce Banner throughout the whole film. So yeah, people just think it's because he's Loki, and Loki clearly doesn't have the power to turn Bruce Banner into the Hulk when he's posing as Bruce Banner. Even though we do actually see Hulk trying to come out, or not trying to come out, every time he's asked to come out, you see him and he's like, no! Yeah, but then I think Marvel's done that on purpose because they've said that Hulk's gonna have his own sort of storyline throughout these next few films, and I just think that's part of the storyline. Like, you know, Hulk isn't gonna come out for a while, but then maybe in Avengers 4, something really big is gonna happen when he does come out. Like, maybe when he does come out, Bruce Banner has full control over the Hulk, like, as well as being able to punch a building in half. He's now really intelligent as well because he's got Bruce Banner in control. That would be cool, but we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that theory. To me, that theory is just complete, utter crap. But then this is when it actually happens, and I go to see Avengers 4 in the cinema. I walk in, sit down with my popcorn, and I'm just like, hey guys, guess what? It's me, it's Loki. I've been home this whole time. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Why would you do this to us? Oh my god, I can't. Oh my god, oh my god. Well, yeah, anyway. Next theory is that Doctor Strange didn't actually fade away when it happened in the film. Right, so yeah, basically this is the thought of Doctor Strange didn't actually fade away, he just made it look like it with, you know, like his magic and stuff on purpose. Yeah, I don't really have much of a thought on this theory, other than the fact that, yeah, it could happen. Doctor Strange is very clever and he clearly knows what he's doing when it comes to trying to get the right outcome. And I think if he did do this on purpose, I think it might be like, I think it's a sort of make Stark and Nebula work something out on their own to figure out what to do next, because whatever they figure out next is going to be very important for the outcome of the next film, and Doctor Strange needs to clear off away from that. But then he didn't die, so he needs to do something about that. by just hiding. So yeah, if that was true, that's what I think, that why he done it. It's a very simple theory. I've pretty much just come up with it on the spot. But yeah, it's very likely that that could happen. But then the thing is, what you would have to think about is where he's actually gone to and what he's doing now to somehow help everyone else or help the outcome. Like if he's actually planning something wherever he is. But yeah, again, I don't really have much of a thought on that. That's just yeah, could happen. But then the next theory is Iron Man was left alive for a reason. Yes. That is very obvious that they've done that on purpose. That Doctor Strange actually left him alive on purpose. Because it was actually foreshadowed near the start of the movie when Doctor Strange said to Iron Man, like, something like, if it comes to saving you or the kid for the Time Stone, I will not hesitate to let you both die. Yeah, that's probably said very wrong because I can't remember how it actually goes, but yeah, he says something like that, and then what's he do near the end of the film? Yeah, he goes ahead and gives Thanos the Time Stone when Tony is getting stabbed to death. When he clearly said he's not going to do that. And obviously, like in the middle of the film, Doctor Strange used the Time Stone to look into all the different outcomes of the future. And there's about like 400 million? 4 million? I can't remember the number. I think something to do with the numbers coming up later in the list. So we'll probably find out the number later on. Yeah, it was a big number, and he said that they only win. I'm just gonna let this helicopter go past you because you can probably hear that. Shut the f up. Finished? Cool. Yeah, but then there's apparently only one outcome where they win. So obviously Doctor Strange's choices throughout the rest of the film after that moment where he looks into the possible outcomes, he is clearly doing everything he chooses to do for a reason, and that is because it needs to be done for them to hopefully win later on. And they clearly need Stark to be alive, as he's clearly very important for the next film. So yeah, that theory I definitely agree with, that Doctor Strange left him alive for a reason. So yeah, moving on. Oh, theory about why Doctor Strange did what he did. I have pretty much covered that, haven't I? Just another quick run through. He did everything that he did on purpose because it is clearly very important for the outcome of the next film. You're welcome. Thor's eye, yes. Alright, there was a theory about Thor's new eye, because obviously he gets a new eye in the film, doesn't he? That rocket pulls out from his ass. So yeah, there was a lot of theories going around and a lot of questions going around about how Thor knew everyone was in Wakanda. Like how did he actually know where the battle was? He just turned up all of a sudden, and no one actually knew how he knew where all this shit was going down. But then this theory suggests that it's something to do with his new eye that Rocket gave him, because it's not clear where Rocket got this eye from. He just happened to have it on him, and clearly it's part of to do with the joke that he always pulls, like when he steals someone's biotic leg, just because he thinks it's funny for them to wake up and find out their leg's gone missing and they have to hop around to go and find it. So yeah, it's clearly like partly to do with that, but people have been thinking about where he actually got it from, and if this eye is actually like very important and powerful. Not powerful, but it's got some power towards it. And just to extend this before I go into it, you know the character Heimdall? He was the guy at the start of Infinity War who got stabbed, and that's when Thor said to Thanos, "You're going to die for that." Yeah, he used to be in the previous Thor films. He was like the gatekeeper of Asgard. Like whenever someone needed to go back to Asgard, he would open the gate for them to let them in. But then he had this sort of power where he could see everything and everyone everywhere in the entire universe. Like if you were sat on the toilet playing table tennis at the same time, he'd be able to see that and just think, the f*** are you doing? Yeah, that was a weird example to use, but yeah, the thing is about that, it's never been actually clear whether he gets his power just just from being the gatekeeper, just from being in that role of the gatekeeper, or if he just developed the power himself, and that's partly the reason why he was put in the role of the gatekeeper, because it would just be very helpful. But then, by the looks of it, from Thor Ragnarok, he wasn't the gatekeeper anymore. It was actually, I can't remember what his name was. Crap. I'll put him up on the screen now, and so probably put his name as well. But it's that bald guy with the tattoos who had the two machine guns called Des and Troy. Because when you put them together, they destroy. I love that bit. Yeah, he became the role of the gatekeeper, but then he didn't get any of those powers. But then you see Heimdall throughout the film, and he still got the powers, even though he's not the gatekeeper anymore. So by the looks of it, Heimdall just happened to have those powers on his own. But then going back to this theory, the new eye is a sort of like yellowish, orangish colour, and it's very similar to the colour of Heimdall's eyes. And Heimdall's eyes are obviously that colour because of his abilities of being able to see everything. So people think that Thor's new eye has somehow in some way got this ability of being able to see everyone and everything in the entire universe, and that's how Thor knew where the fight was going down in Wakanda. And to further extend on this theory, both Heimdall and the eye's eye colour are very similar to the colour of the Soul Stone, and some people think that it could also be something to do with how Heimdall got his powers because of the colour of his eyes. So people are thinking that Thor's new eye somehow has the power of the Soul Stone in the eye, because obviously Heimdall can see everyone and everything through their soul and everything like that, and obviously it's the Soul Stone. So yeah, to me that's a pretty decent theory. But then if that was actually true, I'm thinking surely it would be made very clear in the film. Like at least when Thor puts a new eye in, he at least goes, "Oh my god, I can see everything. I wonder what Stark's doing right now." Okay, he's in the bath with a rubber ducky and the Iron Man toy. Wait, what's he doing with them? Oh my god, no. Maybe that shouldn't have happened in the film. But yeah, again, that's a pretty decent theory, and that would be very cool if that were true. The next theory is that that Captain America has been a Skrull this whole time. Ah, yes, the Skrulls. If you're not aware, the Skrulls have been a theory for a very long time now, and if you don't know what the Skrulls are, they're going to be the antagonists in the upcoming Captain Marvel film, and they've all got the ability to shapeshift into different people. Some people think just because of how Captain America is right now, like how he's changed so much and stuff like that, that isn't Captain America anymore. So there's been all these different sort of theories on that, of anything to do with like Captain America is this, or he's a Skrull and the real Captain America's gone missing since Civil War. So yeah, they're all sort of like building on top of each other of like who Captain America now is. But then my theory is it's still Captain America. It's still the same character. It's just the fact that from everything that happened to him in Civil War, like he's now a criminal because of everything he did in Civil War. It's like all got to him so much, and he's been in hiding this whole time. So he's given up the mantle of Captain America, which was represented at the end of Civil War when he drops his shield when Iron Man says, "That doesn't belong to you. My dad made that shield." Okay. There you go. See ya. So after all that, he's become a war criminal, and he's given up the mantle of Captain America. So he's still Steve Rogers, he's still the same character, but he's just not really Captain America anymore. He just doesn't want to be that anymore. He doesn't want to be known as that anymore, because he doesn't want to represent America anymore. He doesn't want to represent as the Captain of America. And that's why his suit is now like ripped apart, like all his like Avengers stickers have been ripped off, and the America star has been ripped off the chest. It's just the fact that the character's sort of been broken. He's not like someone else. He's not like a Skrull or anything like that. He's just been broken with everything that's happened to him, and he doesn't want to be Captain America anymore. which obviously is like linked to the story of Novad. Novad is like the alter ego of Captain America. It's Captain America once he gives up as Captain America and becomes Novad. So obviously they've gone towards that sort of storyline, like he's become Novad now, but it's not actually clear in the film whether he actually is Novad. It's just that they've gone towards that sort of storyline. So yeah, I think he's Novad. And one thing I've noticed about why people think that it's not Captain America is because he held back the Infinity Gauntlet when Thanos went for him. And by that time, Thanos has got quite a lot of the Infinity Stones by then. He's just got one left to go. So Thanos is very powerful. So yeah, I get that it's sort of weird that Captain America managed to hold it back. But then what people do seem to forget is, in Civil War, Captain America held back Bucky's helicopter, which stopped it from taking off, and then it eventually crashed because Captain America was holding on to the helicopter. So Captain America has stopped a helicopter taking off just by holding on to the end of it. So I'm pretty sure he is really strong. I mean, I know I said earlier about like Hulk didn't manage to beat Thanos because Thanos has got an Infinity Stone now, which is more powerful than anything in the universe. But still, Hulk did sort of get somewhere, didn't he? But then he got thrashed after that. But then you also see that Captain America does really struggle to hold it back. It's just that he just managed to hold it back until he just gets punched in the face. But yeah, so yeah, I think it's still Captain America. It's not like a Skrull or anything like that. It's just how Captain America's story arc is now. So yeah, there you go. Captain America being Vision. What? Captain America being Vision? Just give me a sec. I need to look this up a sec. What the Captain America is Vision theory.
A few moments later.
Any day now it will load.
1 hour later.
So, how's life, guys? How's the kids? Yeah, good, cool.
1 eternity later.
It still hasn't loaded. Come on! Avengers Infinity War. Huge Captain America theory confirmed by Chris Evans. That's not the theory. I'm so confused. Where's this theory come from all of a sudden? Sorry, I didn't actually make my list. It was actually my girlfriend that did this for me because she really wanted to see this video, so she thought she wanted to help out. But then I don't know where the she's got this theory from. I can't find it. I literally, have you just made this theory up just to bother me? I don't know what that is. I think we're just gonna have to skip that one. If that is actually a theory and you guys can find it, then link it down below or something like that, because that is interesting. Captain America being Vision. Right then, anyway, moving on. Iron Man / Star-Lord making a sacrifice. Right, okay. This theory, I think I've heard about this. It's based around Gamora, how Gamora is going to be saved from the Soul Stone. Because at the end of Infinity War, pardon me, sorry, Jesus Christ. At the end of Infinity War, you see that a young Gamora is in the Soul Stone. And people think that that is the actual Gamora, but she's just in the physical form of what Thanos would see her as, because he sees Gamora as his little girl, so that's what she's shown as. And there's a theory that Iron Man or Star-Lord, I don't get why Iron Man's involved with this, because he's nothing to do with Gamora. I mean, he doesn't even know who the bitch he is. There's a theory that one of those two have to make an ultimate sacrifice just to get Gamora back into the real world. Right, so what I think about this, I don't know what this theory is trying to get at, really. I don't understand it, really. I mean, I can try looking it up, but I probably still won't understand it. Yeah, sorry, I did say, didn't I, that I had to do some research in between this. Is it just me? Is my voice going weird? It always happens to me. I think my voice is going weird, and I say that in a video, but then it's actually not weird. If that makes sense. Does anyone else get this? It just like feels like your voice is going really weird and it sounds like it's gone weird to you, but everyone else, it just sounds exactly the same. It's really weird, sorry. Avengers 4, Tony Stark. Yes, I accept your cookies. I would like some cookies, actually. Has anyone got any cookies? After they arrive on Vormir, the direction from Nebula, they will be told a sacrifice needs to be made. It was introduced that Red Skull can see everyone's soul as the Stonekeeper when he addressed Thanos as the son of Alice? Don't know what that is. So it is possible he will peer into the Tony's soul. Sony, I'm not sponsored by Sony, I promise. Sacrificing the timeline where he has his son to save the universe. Oh, I don't know about that. This theory is on Iron Man. This has nothing to do with Star-Lord, so I don't know if this is the same theory as what's on my list. This theory is suggesting that Tony Stark will come to a really hard choice in Avengers 4, where he has to sacrifice his own future of having his son that was foreshadowed at the start of the film. He has to sacrifice all of that life just to save the universe. That is deep. So yeah, if you can't remember or didn't know, it was foreshadowed at the start of the film that Tony says that he had a dream. He says this to Pepper, that he had a dream that they had a kid together, and when he woke up it felt like it was actually real. So yeah, that's probably something to like foreshadow that he might be having a kid, or Pepper might become pregnant or something like that. But if that theory is true, then that is deep. I think it said like he's got to sacrifice that life and himself, or I think it might just be hit that life of having a kid. But, oh, that is deep. This definitely would make sense. So that is a good theory. That is deep. Jesus. Look, don't be mad at Star-Lord for what he did. I completely agree with this. Don't be mad at Star-Lord. He just did what he just acted like anyone would if they found out their girlfriend died from a certain person they're staring right at. It's going to be how anyone reacts, really. So don't be mad at him. The poor guy went from being loved by everyone to being hated by everyone just because he hit Thanos in the face and put the entire universe at risk. But you know, clearly it was supposed to happen because Doctor Strange let it happen. I can't find it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the theory is something to do with like Star-Lord or Iron Man have to make a big sacrifice of their own life to get Gamora back to the real world. So yeah, I get this is another one where I'm not too sure what I think about this theory because I don't even know, I can't remember anything about it. I should have done a lot of research before this video, shouldn't I? Oh well. Again, if you do find this theory, just let me know in the comments. I'm sure my girlfriend will tell me because she's the one that put this on the list. Ooh, this theory suggests that Thor will rebuild Asgard in Avengers 4. So yes, I actually think this is very likely, because there's one thing at the start of Infinity War that wasn't clear. When Thanos wipes out a population, he never wipes out all of it, he wipes out half of it, just so it can be
perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
But then we never see the other half of the Asgardians, or even people like Korg, Valkyrie, you know, Mick. I love Korg and Mick, they're amazing. Yeah, we never see them. So there's a theory that they went their own separate way on a different ship with the rest of the Asgardians, and they're heading towards Earth to rebuild Asgard. So yeah, that is a very likely possibility that that could happen. Whether or not that's in Avengers 4, or maybe even if there will be a Thor 4. That's really weird to say, isn't it? Thor 4. The fourth Thor movie. No, stop. You're messing my brain up. I'm losing chromosomes. But yeah, I actually think that this could happen. Like, whether or not they, like, Thor finds them halfway through the movie or at the end of the movie, and it just gets shown that Asgard's getting rebuilt, or they're planning to do it, or something like that. Yeah, it's just very likely. Again, there's nothing really much to say about this other than the fact that it's very likely yet to happen, and it would be cool to see it happen, because then we'll finally see Thor as a proper leader or king of Asgard. But to me, it would be better to do that in a fourth Thor movie. God's sake. Because then they've just got more time to building that story. Oh, my camera's gonna die, no! Right, I'm just gonna have to hope that one of these spare batteries are enough charged for the rest of the video. Crap. Right, so the next theory is what the number 14,605,000 means. There you go, that's the number. 14,605,000. Bloody big number, isn't it? This theory was actually shown by a guy. I wouldn't be able to say his name or anything, but I'll leave a link in the description because he explains his theory probably in a lot more detail than I'm about to explain it, and probably would make a lot more sense than I would. But this guy did a lot of research and stuff on the number 14,405,605. I keep forgetting the number 605. Okay, and he comes to the conclusion that Doctor Strange actually says all of the possible outcomes. So to him it sounds like all of the possible outcomes. So to him it sounds like there's a lot more than 14,605,000, and the fact that Doctor Strange only said there's one outcome where they win. This guy, again, I really should have looked up his name before I talked about this, but he thinks that Doctor Strange is only saying that there's one to make Stark think that there's only one way they can win. So it sort of motivates him to think that, right, we've got to win this. We have to make sure we get to this one possible outcome where we win. So yeah, again, there's more about this in the description down below. I'll link the video, his video, just so you can learn more about this theory. But yeah, this is a pretty good theory, really. I mean, I think it was a bit overlooked. Like, I don't think the number 14,605,000 really needed that much looking at, but yeah, fair play to you. That is a pretty good theory. It does sort of make sense, and you know, it is a bit too scary, the fact that there's only one outcome where they win. And I mean, surely there's more than one. There were a bunch of like plot holes in the film that could have been them winning, but yeah. So yeah, I do really like this theory. I'm just not really sure what to think about it. Like, I don't know whether to agree with it or not, but it does really make sense. So yeah. Oh yes. Oh, I'm so glad she put this in there. Iron Man is going to make a suit that can hold the Infinity Stones, or he's going to make his own Infinity Gauntlet. Memory card died, bear with. It didn't die, it ran out of space because it's a freaking knob. Yeah, I can't say whether I think that will happen, but what I can say is that will be so freaking cool if that did happen. Like, because Iron Man and Nebula are both stuck on Titan, and they've got to somehow find a way to get off of Titan and defeat Thanos or help the others, or whatever they've got to do next. It would be so cool if Tony comes up with a plan to build a new suit, or just add to his new suit, so it's able to hold the Infinity Stones. So at the end of the movie there's a massive showdown where Tony gets his own Infinity Stones, or he steals the Infinity Stones. It is meant to be about time travel in the next film, so maybe he'll get them before Thanos does. And I don't know, he does like a really cool punch on Thanos and it like obliterates him. That'll be so cool. But then the one thing about this is, at the end of the film, I do kind of hope that each and every character has some sort of input on Thanos' death. Like, you know, the end of Age of Ultron, Vision, Iron Man, Thor, all the people like that were all like, you know, using their laser beams and whatever their power is on Ultron in like a circle. Or even another example, when the fight on Titan in Infinity War, when like Spider-Man, Doctor Strange and everyone is using all their powers and fighting moves and stuff against Thanos all at the same time. I really want that to happen with every character on set, because that will be so cool when everyone has their own little input on Thanos' death, so no one's left out. But then yeah, it would be cool if one person was to finish him off, like they all like do everything all at the same time in a circle or something like that, and then Tony walks in between the circle right up to Thanos, who's like on his knees in pain, and just like finishes him off. That would be so cool if we got something like that, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, the theory of Iron Man making his own gauntlet or making it so his suit can hold the Infinity Stones, that would be so... you have no idea how much I want that to happen. But then even if that punch or whatever Tony does to kill Thanos actually has to kill him as well, that would be deep, like really deep, and it would be like a really tough decision for him, because he's in order to kill someone else and save the rest of the universe, he's got to kill himself. So that would be so cool and so cute and so deep. Oh right, okay, yeah, right. Our next theory is Thor uses Hela to bring back Loki. Okay, right, okay, yeah. I know that Hela was a cool villain and we all want to see her come back. I want to see her come back because she was a very big villain and everyone thought she was going to be like the villain of the MCU before Thanos. Before Thanos, that's actually a good villain and won't be killed off. Yeah, no, she was killed off. We all want her to come back, but then I think people are just going too far with this, just finding any excuse to bring her back. And everyone wants Loki back as well, because they've just made Loki all likeable and he's pretty much become a good guy now, or so we think. So we all want Hela and Loki back. So now there's a theory that Thor is going to bring Hela back, who is going to help him bring Loki back. I mean, sure, why not? If you want to believe this theory, then go ahead. It's cool, yeah. We will get Hela and Loki back at the same time, but it's just very unlikely that that's going to be fitted into Avengers 4. But I don't think they're going to do that, really. It just to me seems like an excuse to bring Loki and Hela back at the same time, because it's just like, right, the audience want Loki back, the audience want Hela back. What we're gonna do, right? Thor's gonna go to Hela, go to wherever Hela died or whatever like that, wherever a spirit's been ended up, and bring her back. And he's gonna be like, "We need Loki. You're going to help me bring Loki back." And you really think she's just gonna be like, "Yeah, sure, I'll help you, Thor, because you're like my favorite brother in the whole wide world." No, they hate each other. They all hate each other from Thor Ragnarok. Clearly, they're all on different paths. So I don't think she's just going to willingly bring a Loki back who she hardly even knew. And now the audience are all happy because they've got Loki back, they've got Hela back, and happy days. I don't think it's going to happen, I'm sorry. Even if we don't get Loki back properly, we're still going to see Loki. It's been confirmed. Because obviously with all the time travel of Avengers 4, they're all going to be travelling back in time. We've seen set photos. Captain America's got his original suit on with his original like blonde slick hair, and it's been confirmed that Loki is going to be there as well, because obviously he was the main villain in Avengers 1. So yeah, even if we don't see Loki brought back to life, we're still going to see him in Avengers 4, and you never know, he might do something really cool. Either he'll help the Avengers side, or he'll help Thanos' side. Personally, I would love to see him work on Thanos' side, because that would be so cool. And then maybe he'll have like a little moment with Thor. Not like a moment like that would just be freaking weird. But yeah, we'll still get to see Loki. I'm glad that's gonna happen. I mean, I'm not saying for sure we're gonna see Loki. It's just what people are saying, we're gonna see Loki again. But yeah, I just don't believe in that theory at all, I'm afraid. Yeah. Sorry. How Iron Man gets back to Earth. Okay. I don't know much about the theory of how Iron Man goes back to Earth. Again, I'll try and quickly look it up, but every time I look this up, all these theories up, I get nothing. I'm going to try on my computer. Okay, right. Got it. Alright, so this theory suggests that Iron Man is going to get back to Earth, and Nebula. I keep forgetting about Nebula. They're going to get back to Earth because Captain Marvel is going to fly in and save the day. Yeah, that's literally what I've just read. not word by word, but I believe Captain Marvel will somehow be aware of Stark's presence on Titan and bring him and Nebula back to Earth quite early on in the story. Captain Marvel has almost godlike powers and would be more than capable of flying or teleporting the two surviving characters. Thor is another possibility since he seems to have some access to the Bifrost again. Right, yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention earlier. Thor has access to the Bifrost. People think it's something to do with his axe. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. It's basically just people think, yeah, they've got powers of flying and stuff like that. Surely they'll be able to fly and help him out. Cool. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a pretty simple theory, really, isn't it? Just, how's Iron Man going to go back to Earth? Captain Marvel? Thor? One of the two? I don't know what to say about that. That's just really simple. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it is sort of believable in a way. I mean, Captain Marvel needs to have some sort of introduction on how she can help the Avengers and stuff, and bringing Tony back to Earth. That's a big step. I'm just going to move on because there's nothing really to talk about on that. Yeah, yeah, sure. Captain Marvel's going to come in and save the day. That's what everyone's saying right now. Everyone's saying that Captain Marvel's going to be one to kill Thanos just because she's so powerful. If they do that in Avengers 4, I'm going to be so disappointed because it's just like, Captain Marvel swoops in and saves the day. She does everything now. She's like the new Superman. She does everything. I don't want that to happen with Marvel. So, yeah. Why Hulk didn't appear? We've already covered that. I think it's because I just think it's something to do with his storyline. Like, obviously Banner was stuck as Hulk for 2 years, and now it's Hulk's turn, really. Nah, I did read that. I think it was what Mark Ruffalo's opinion was, and it's because oh, what did Mark Ruffalo? Oh, I forgot. I'm gonna have to look this up as well now. Right, this is what Mark said. This is what Mark Ruffalo said, apparently. I'm going to try and read it from my screen there. There's a conflict brewing between Banner and Hulk that's been going on since the beginning, and it all came out of this question that Joss Whedon asked me. When Hulk gets the fairy dust from Scarlet Witch sprinkled on him in Avengers 2, Joss asked, "What is Hulk afraid of?" And that was a hard thing for me to answer. Because what is the strongest, fiercest thing in the universe afraid of? And then I realised it's Banner. The only thing Hulk is afraid of is Banner, and so that's become something we've been riffing on since Avengers 2. We played with a lot in Ragnarok, and it continues to be teased out in Infinity War and Infinity War 2. Oh, okay. Mark Ruffalo basically thinks that the Hulk is scared of Banner. Now that Banner's in control of the Hulk doesn't want to come out because the Hulk's scared of Banner being in control. So I think my theory is starting to make more sense. Hulk's scared of Banner. Hulk's scared of Banner, and if Hulk's scared if Banner Hulk's scared if he comes out, Banner's gonna take full control over Hulk. So yeah, I'm liking that. Even Mark Ruffalo thinks that Hulk isn't coming out because of Banner. So yeah, it would make sense if Hulk isn't coming out, because if he does, Banner will take full control over them both. And if that does happen in Avengers 4, that would be so cool. And we get to see a Hulk who can punch the crap out of things, and talk about science too, and maybe have some of Banner's banter. Banner's banter, that sounds amazing. So yeah, there we go. Okay, last but not least, this isn't actually on my list. That's everything that's on my list. Actually on my list, but I just really want to talk about this. Who is going to die in Avengers 4? Right, so I think, personally, that Captain America is gonna die, like 100%. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, I'm open to anyone else's opinion. But to me, it just looks like that Captain America is going to die. And that's because, going back to earlier, I talked about how Captain America isn't really Captain America anymore. And that's just because I think Captain America's story is now coming to an end. Yeah, going back to earlier, I talked about how Captain America doesn't want to be Captain America anymore, and he's now a war criminal, and his story is basically just gone to a whole mess. Like, he looks like a mess. I mean, he kind of looks like a badass now, but still. And his life is basically gone to a mess because he's been in hiding this whole time, and yeah, no one likes him. So yeah, I think it's just a good point to kill him. I just think it's a good point in time to kill him. That sounds horrible, but still. Because, you know, he's been through a lot, and he's willing to do anything to save the world or just win a war. So yeah, it's very possible that he could die when he's going up against Thanos. And also Chris Evans' contract is running out after Avengers 4. I mean, I know that it can be refreshed, and loads of the Avengers cast's contract is running out, and a lot of them are probably going to get refreshed for them to carry on in the MCU. But then from what I've seen and heard, it looks like Chris Evans is ready to move on with his life. Like he's had fun being Captain America and everything, but it looks like he wants to do other things with his life, like try out new roles and everything like that, just not just keep coming back to the same role every few years. I just think it's very likely that Captain America is going to die. But yeah, again, that's just my opinion. If you don't agree, then fair enough. But then we go to the big question that's turned into a massive debate between people, and that's whether Iron Man is gonna die in the next film. So I'm a little unsure about this one, but I'm more going towards that he is going to die. And that's just because it will be a really hard hitting moment in the MCU. Because obviously Iron Man is the one who kick-started the MCU. He's the first one to have a film in the MCU. So yeah, to kill him off 10 years on from that film would be a really hard hitting moment, because he's been in the MCU for so long and he's the one that kick-started it. So yeah, it will be a really hard hitting moment. And also it would be really hard for the characters as well, but especially Spider-Man, because you know, he's coming back. That's obvious, because he's got his own film and everything. But yeah, so one thing that's been annoying me for ages now is how people are saying, oh no, they can't kill Iron Man off, because Spider-Man needs Iron Man. Guys, come on, it's Spider-Man. Like, if you look back to the comics, or if you look back to the previous films, does Spider-Man always have someone picking up after him and helping him through his mistakes and telling him what to do to be a good hero? No! That's what makes a good Spider-Man story. If something really big happens to him, he knows he's on his own, so he's got to make his own decision on what to do, and he knows what he does affects other people. I know in Spider-Man Homecoming they did the whole Iron Man father figure thing, and every time Spider-Man made a mistake, Iron Man would tell him off or pick up after him. And yeah, I agree with that. I love Homecoming, it's a really good film. And I think to do that in that film, it's acceptable. Because you know, Spider-Man has only just become a hero. Like, he's only just had his powers for about 6 months. So yeah, he's gonna need that head start to, you know, sort of become a good hero. But then I think for the next Spider-Man film, if Iron Man had just died in Infinity War, it would make a really good storyline. Because Spider-Man has just lost his father figure. Like, he recently lost Uncle Ben, who is his father figure, so he found someone else to be his father figure, but then that father figure has just died as well. So I think that'll make Spider-Man really. So I think that'll make Spider-Man finally, you know. So I think that'll make Spider-Man really start to mature and try to do things by himself, and I think to do a whole movie about that would be really good. Because yeah, the whole Iron Man father figure is really cool, but then they can't keep doing that throughout the whole time they have Spider-Man in the MCU. Because they've just gone through all that effort to put Spider-Man in the MCU, so he can finally interact with all these characters. So they use Iron Man as his father figure. But then they're sort of wasting a good story by that. Because Spider-Man knows if he goes wrong, he can always go to Iron Man and he'll sort things out for him. Whereas all the films that Spider-Man is on his own makes things really tense if something big happens. Like the Sinister Six, he's got to fight them on his own. So it's like 1 against 6, which is what is so cool about a Sinister Six story. It's a mixture of all these different villains that he's put in prison, getting revenge on Spider-Man, which is really cool. By the way, if you haven't guessed already, Spider-Man's my favourite character. So yeah, on the other side, I really don't want Iron Man to die, because he's one of my favourite characters. And I think it will make a really good storyline for Spider-Man, and make a massive moment in the MCU. But yeah, there we go. Again, I'm open to other people's opinions, but I just really don't want to see Iron Man keep picking up after Spider-Man in these films. So yeah, that's why I'm sort of like, in a way, hoping he dies, or at least retires. So yeah, there we go. That's all the theories I have at the moment. If you did like this video of me talking about theories and everything like that, and want to see me do more videos like this, even just another video about Avengers theories, then I'm happy to do that if you really want me to. But yeah, if you like the idea of me making videos about films and stuff like that, then I'm really happy to do that, because I love talking about my favourite films, so I'd be more than happy to make videos about them. But yeah, if you would like that to happen, then just hit me up in the comments down below. But yeah, anyway, sorry if this video turns out to be unbearably long, because I've never done a video like this, and I can just tell already it's going to be a really long video. But if you guys don't mind and you like that, and it actually works because it's a video about theories, then fair enough. I'm glad that I'm not wasting your time. But if you don't like the fact that it's so long, I'm sorry. I do try to make my videos at least 10 minutes or 15 minutes at the latest, but it does sort of run over, and it's hard to cut it down. But yeah, anyway, before I make this video even longer, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know if there's any theories that you agree or disagree with in the comments down below, or even if you agree with anything I said. I mean, if you do, then thanks. But yeah, I'll be seeing you guys later. See ya!
You son of a bitch!
Shark! I got you, sucker!
If I could turn back time, if I could find a way, I'd take back those words that'll hurt you, and you'd stay. I don't know why I did the things I did.
Hello!
That really hurt!
No! God! No! God, please, no! No! No!
I don't feel so good.
No!